It's starting to get really hot here. This past week has been dry and 90 degrees every day. Some of the people I know that grew up in this area are telling me to get ready for a very hot and dry summer. So now I'm back in the routine of getting all my work done early in the morning when it's still cool outside. I've also been going down to the river every day to swim. I feel like getting in cold water early in the morning makes me feel so strong. There's just some sort of energy shift in me after I get in cold water. Like I feel more positive. Okay, so I'm walking back home and I just rounded the corner and I literally saw a mountain lion. It was just right there, like 10 feet from me. And then it kind of like jumped up onto the rocks and I like got a little shot of it and it looked at me for like 10 seconds maybe, and then it just kind of dashed away. I'm kind of scared. It's like following me. I'm kind of gonna run home. I'm really scared right now. I saw a mountain lion. Oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't run. Maybe that's not a good idea. It's getting close to the longest day of the year, and I just love how light it is so late at night. The darkness comes after 10 p.m. And I think warm summer nights could be maybe my favorite thing in the world. And in the evening, it will cool down a bit, giving us a break from the heat. It's been getting pretty windy at night too, especially high up in these mountains. I've been trying to walk up here every night. I definitely don't do it every day, but when I do, it just feels so nice to breathe in the cool, fresh air. Down in the valley, especially when it's hot, the air can feel really intense. But up in the mountains is, where I find solace and respite during these hot summers. The house remodel really wore me out. There was a week I literally took a nap every day, but I'm honestly really glad I listened to my body and slept during that time because now I'm finally starting to feel so much better. Sleep is such an underrated thing. I feel like people don't talk about the importance of it enough. When I get consistent sleep, I feel so much happier and more positive in my day-to-day life. So this week I worked in the garden for a lot of it. The weeds are already starting to go crazy. I know I said a month ago that I was gonna really put more energy into the garden this year, but I'm already feeling so overwhelmed, and honestly, the blazing heat was starting to make me go a little crazy as well, just because it feels too early in the season for heat like this. But then we got blessed with like 2 days of rain. It feels really luxurious when it rains here. Technically, we are in a desert, so rain is pretty rare, especially during the warm season. So I was weeding the garden today and noticed that there are about 1 million ripe strawberries. I didn't even realize they were fruiting. To be honest, life has felt pretty busy lately. I kind of forgot about all of my strawberry plants. 2 years ago, we planted about 80 strawberries, and they have just gone crazy. Oh my gosh. There is something so beautiful about finally harvesting something that you have been waiting years for. Perennials feel like such a gift. Like you don't have to really do much, and they come back every year. It's kind of magical when you think about it. Starting a garden is such an absurd amount of work. A lot of people don't realize just how much work building the fence and setting up the irrigation is. It's the 3rd year of this garden, and it finally is starting to feel just a bit more effortless. Having more mature plants feels like such a blessing. So I'm gonna make some strawberry cobbler bars. My sister inspired this actually. She made this recipe, but with cherries the other day. And it was so good. Oh my goodness. I think the key to this kind of fruit bar is to simmer your fruit for a very long time in order to cook out all of the water. Basically, you're just making a fruit jam. Also, I use my food processor to make coconut butter by blending coconut flakes up. and that really helped make the crust nice and flaky. Coconut butter to me tastes very similar to real butter, especially when you put it in baked goods. Thank you so much to Jackery for sponsoring this video. I'm getting ready for a summer filled with adventures and can't wait to bring along my Jackery generator so I have power in any remote location. The Jackery is a great thing to have, not only in the summer, but the winter too. We're getting ready for a wedding and we have been using my Jackery SG 2000 plus watt solar generator to power all of our tools while working off-grid. This winter in a snowstorm, I went camping and stayed super warm in my tent, powering a little portable electric heater using my Jackery. I've been using the Jackery in so many amazing, fun ways over the years. I love the freedom of being able to have power in any off-grid situation. Using their 200 watt Solar Saga solar panels, you can recharge the generator in only 1.8 hours to fully charge. If you're on a road trip, you can recharge it using the cigarette lighter in your car or simply just plug it into a regular wall outlet. Check out the link in the description to see all of Jackery's new products, including the Jackery SG 2000 plus generator. Thank you again so much, Jackery, for sponsoring this video. Okay, so I've been saving all of my vegetable scraps in the freezer for the past month, and my bag is starting to get pretty full. I'm going to use all these scraps to make vegetable broth. I love making broth from veggie scraps because it uses something that you would otherwise be throwing away. And also, I find vegetable broth to be quite expensive, and oftentimes it doesn't have the best ingredients in it. So I let my broth boil basically all day. I like to get it really boiled down to become kind of like a concentrate. And then I just take it off the heat and strain out all the scraps, which I will then put in my bokashi compost. And then just ladle the broth into canning jars. I'm using my pressure cooker to can these. You don't have to have a pressure cooker. You can just do water bath canning for the broth. And then I'll just tighten the lids to about finger tight. You don't want to tighten them too much. And then once I bring the pressure cooker to pressure, I'll leave them for about 30 minutes. This will make sure that they're properly sealed. I love canning. I feel like it's such an underrated skill to have. I made about 15 jars of broth, which will probably last me, I don't know, maybe 2 months, especially now that it's summer. I'm making less soup, but it's always nice to have broth ready in the pantry. Me, Mom, and Alexa went on a little mini road trip together. We were dropping Alexa off at her internship, and we went to this little health food shop, and they had the best baguette I have ever eaten in my entire life. It was so good. So I'm supposed to be making 30 sourdough baguettes for the wedding, and eating these really inspired me to work on my baguette skills. So tonight I'm going to do some test recipes. I think my biggest issue is I'm not great at shaping bread. I think their secret is that they brushed the baguettes with olive oil before they baked them. They were definitely very oily, but I honestly think that's what made them good. Also, they sprinkled like these really big chunks of salt on top, which I think helped a lot. I'm going on a trip in a couple of days, so I'm making a vegetable soup tonight in order to use up all of the veggies that I have in the fridge. Also, I'm cooking some beans to go in the soup, and I want to talk about cooking beans from scratch. I don't think a lot of people know this, but fresh cooked beans, in my opinion, taste night and day better from what you get in a can. I brought a big bowl of homemade hummus to a party last month, and a couple of people asked me my secret to good hummus, and I honestly think the secret is cooking the beans fresh. You don't need a pressure cooker either. You just have to soak the beans overnight and then boil them for about 45 minutes, depending on what bean it is. Okay, so I'm just shaping the baguettes. Last time I made baguettes, they were pretty good. I used whole wheat flour though, which definitely made them a bit more dense. This time I used all-purpose white flour, so I'm hoping to get a better rise with these ones. Also, this is kind of off topic, but I'm considering buying a flour mill. Does anyone out there mill their own flour? I'm curious about this. A lot of people say the flavor is much better, but I don't know if it's worth it because flour mills are very expensive, so I'm a little nervous to invest in one. Okay, these baguettes ended up turning out amazing. I really think the key was brushing them with olive oil. It made the crust like crunchy but buttery at the same time. It was really, really good. So I normally don't film after dinner, but I want to talk about my evening routine. I started to feel like evenings are actually much more important than mornings. Having a calm evening really helps me sleep a lot better. I think the biggest change I made is not looking at any sort of screen after 6 p.m. It sounds a little crazy, but I swear it's kind of been changing my life. Okay, also, I want to tell you my biggest secret. This face mask recipe, I think, is the elixir of youth. So basically, I put raw local honey into a bowl with razul clay, and then I mix it all up and spread it onto my face. It's very sticky, but oh my gosh, my skin has never looked better. You guys have to try this recipe. Okay, so I just finished my face mask and then I put a little bit of oil on my skin that I made. Look at this skin. I mean, I was having some issues with it this winter. It was like all red and irritated and rashy and flaky and just looking so bad. And yeah, I feel like my skin is completely transformed. Probably mostly because it's warmer out, but also I think I've discovered the elixir of youth with this face mask I've been making. I don't know. It's been really working for me. I don't know, this skin, I don't know if my skin's ever looked better. Truly. I mean, this is just raw skin right here. I've been waiting like 4 years for this. You guys, I finally bought a bathtub. Every night I have been just marinating in the bath for like an hour. I've always loved baths, and living without one for so long has been very sad. I like to do a little stretching at night. I don't do too much though, just like 10 minutes of easy stretching. I do think this helps you sleep better. If you struggle with sleep, try doing legs up the wall pose before you go to bed. That can really help you sleep a lot deeper. Anyways, we are at the end of another video. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next week. Okay, bye-bye.